When most people start their home search, they're chasing great schools, nice homes, space, and value. So naturally, they start looking in the bigger, well-known cities. Boca Raton, Delray Beach, Boynton Beach, Wellington, West Palm Beach. That's where the search usually begins, but here's what I've noticed from real experience. Most people don't even know West Lake Worth exists as an option, and that includes a lot of our own clients. It's not because they wouldn't like it, it's because it's not talked about. It doesn't get the same attention, and it's not always obvious when you're scrolling listings online, and I don't want you to miss out on something that could actually be perfect for you and your family just because you didn't know it was here. So at some point in the process, we'll say, let me show you an area you probably haven't considered yet, and that's when things start to change. Because once people actually look into West Lake Worth, once they see the communities, the schools, and what's being built, they get curious. Then we take them out. We show them homes, we drive the area, and that's usually when their entire mindset shifts. And it's honestly been pretty amazing to watch over the years, seeing families find a place they genuinely love that they almost pass by completely. Because this area isn't standing still, it's improving, it's getting better every year. You've got new construction happening, new residential communities, new commercial plazas, better infrastructure, and a very clear shift in the type of homes being built. We saw this pattern years ago. Boca filled up, then Delray followed, then Boynton Beach, and as land became harder to find and prices pushed higher, development had no choice but to move west. The real opportunity has been in West Lake Worth, and you could see it in the pricing. Most of the new communities being built right now start at around $800,000. Two of them start at $1.2 million and push well over $2 million. That doesn't happen unless builders see long-term demand, and it tells you exactly where this area is headed. Now, real quick, if we haven't met, my name is Jonathan Alexander with Live South Florida and our real estate team, the J. Alexander Group. We've helped over 1,000 families make a move into, out of, and around South Florida. And the whole reason I make these videos is to give you the information you actually need so you can make better decisions for you and your family. If you want a full breakdown of the area itself, where West Lake Worth is, how it's laid out, the schools, lifestyle, and what day-to-day living actually looks like, we put together a full West Lake Worth city guide that dives into all of that. You can download it for free using the link in the description below, or just scan the QR code on the screen. And after you watch this video, that guide will give you a much deeper understanding of the area, because in this video, we're going deep on the communities, because West Lake Worth didn't become what it is overnight. It happened in phases, and each phase tells a different part of the story. So let's go ahead and rewind a bit. Real quick, if you're not familiar with where West Lake Worth sits geographically, don't worry. Most people aren't. It's basically the western part of unincorporated Palm Beach County, west of Military Trail, stretching towards 441 and beyond. You're sandwiched between Boynton, Delray, and Wellington, which is part of why this area works so well for so many people. But for this breakdown, all you need to know is this. West Lake Worth didn't happen all at once. It grew in waves, and each wave brought different types of communities, different price points, and different buyers. So let's start with phase one. All right, phase one. This is roughly the mid-90s through the mid-2000s, let's say up until around 2008, give or take. And this is when West Lake Worth really starts to feel intentional. Developers weren't just throwing up houses anymore, they were building actual communities, neighborhoods with amenities, gates, parks, pools, the whole thing. Most of the well-known names out here come from this period. And here's the thing, these neighborhoods are established now, mature landscaping, trees, they've got that real neighborhood feel, not that brand new cookie cutter vibe. Now listen, there are a lot of communities from phase one. I could easily spend an hour walking through every single one. So instead, I'm gonna focus on the ones that really define this phase and then touch on the others as we go. Let's start with one of the biggest. If you've been looking at homes out here, you've probably heard this name. This is a large established community, just under 2,000 homes total, spread across over 18 different villages built between 1993 and 2002. So you get a lot of variety, different home styles, different sizes, different price points. Most homes fall somewhere between $500,000 and $900,000, which is a big reason it comes up so often with buyers looking for value in Palm Beach County. Winston Trails actually covers a lot of ground. There's 3 entrances, a man gate off of Jog Road, another off of Haverhill, and a resident entrance off Hypoluxo. And once you're inside, it really does feel like its own little pocket. And because it's such a large community, there's a lot of green space, walking trails throughout, and the wildlife is very diverse, which people actually really enjoy. Winston Trails is zoned for Manatee Elementary, Krista McCullough Middle School, and Park Vista High School, all highly regarded A-rated schools. That's a big reason families keep coming back to the community. Amenities, there's a lot here. 2 pools, fitness center, tennis courts, multiple playgrounds, and there's even a restaurant right by the driving range that people actually use. Add in the golf course, the family-oriented vibe, and the fact that there's no mandatory membership, Winston Trails checks off a lot of boxes for buyers. Journey's End, and yes, I know. The name, we've heard it from plenty of people over the years. Journey's End? Really? But don't let the name throw you off. It's actually a great community. Journey's End sits right across the street from Winston Trails, so location-wise, you're in a very similar spot. It's man-gated, all single-family homes, and it's smaller than Winston Trails, about 585 homes total, built by Crosswinds Communities and Westbrook Homes, which also built most of Winston Trails from 1999 to 2002. The main entrance is off of Jog, and there's a resident gate on Hagen Ranch Road right across the street from Coral Reef Elementary, which is the elementary school that it's zoned for. From there, you got Woodlands for middle school and Park Vista for high school. Homes here tend to be large on average with a lot of courtyard style and 2-story homes, so it feels intentionally built for families of all sizes. The courtyard homes are really popular with buyers who want privacy and a layout that feels different from the typical South Florida house. Amenities are solid, tennis courts, pickleball courts, playground, pool, even a basketball court. Because of the home sizes and overall feel, prices here usually run a little higher than Winston Trails, with homes going up to around 1.2 million. Overall, it's quieter, more residential, and it attracts buyers who want space and privacy without being far from anything. This is one a lot of families naturally gravitate towards. Smith Farm sits on about 80 acres of lakes and cypress preserves, so it doesn't feel tight or overbuilt. About 1,242 homes total, spread across 10 villages, built by Minto Homes between 1996 and 2001. This is just west of Journey's End. The main entrance is off of Hypoluxo, and there's also another gate off of Hagen Ranch right across from Journey's End. There's a big emphasis on the outdoor space here. The neighborhood really feels active and lived in, and here's something funny. At least every time we've shown homes in Smith Farm, they've always been 2 stories. I'm sure there's single-story homes in there somewhere, but we haven't shown them yet. Amenities are solid without being over the top. You have 2 pools, fitness center, 2 basketball courts, 5 tennis courts that also act as pickleball courts, 2 dedicated pickleball courts, soccer field, baseball field, and a really impressive playground, completely turfed, covered shade structures, multiple play areas for different age groups. It's the kind of playground kids actually want to spend time at. Smith Farm is gated with video surveillance and roving patrols. Pricing tends to line up pretty closely with Winston Trails. Most homes fall roughly in that 500 to 900,000 range depending on the size and updates. This is one of those communities where people actually use the amenities. Kids are active and the neighborhood feels like part of the lifestyle, not just a place that you sleep. This is a big one. Lake Charleston is a large master plan community covering 945 acres with more than 220 acres of lakes running through it. About 2,400 homes total, spread across 28 subdivisions built by Centex Homes between 1989 and 2002. So this is one of the bigger residential pockets in West Lake Worth. Because of that size, it feels very open, a lot of green space, a lot of water views, and depending on where you are inside the community, the vibe can actually change. You've got single family homes, townhouses, and villas, so there's a lot of variety here in terms of home types and price points. And many of the homes enjoy scenic views of the community's 7 lakes. Now, this is not a gated community, which is important to know, but it does have an HOA and clearly defined neighborhoods. Pricing generally falls in the 400 to 800 range, which makes this a popular option for first-time buyers or buyers trying to stay under the next price jump. One thing Lake Charleston really is known for is space. A lot of homes back up to lakes and residents actually use them. Boating, fishing, kayaking, you don't see that everywhere. Amenities are solid, 2 resort-style pools, 8 tennis courts, multiple playgrounds, basketball courts, a soccer field, and access to Lake Charleston Park, which spans 9 acres with baseball and softball fields and open green space. Lake Charleston is zoned for Manatee Elementary, Krista McCullough Middle School, and Park Vista High School, all highly regarded A-rated schools. Location-wise, you're right off of Jog Road, just south of Hypoluxo with additional access from Hagen Ranch, so getting in and out is easy. Now, once you move past communities like Lake Charleston, you start to see another side of Phase 1. Still built around the same time period, but a little more golf focused and a little more lifestyle driven. These aren't massive master plan neighborhoods, they're more niche. And 2 that come up a lot are Laguna Golf Club, also known as Atlantic National, and the Fountains. Laguna Golf and Country Club, or what most people around here call Atlantic National. I've played that course many times. This is a man-gated golf-centric community with no mandatory membership, and the easiest way to describe it, it's basically Winston Trails on a smaller scale. Laguna sits in western Lake Worth on Lantana Road, just west of the turnpike on the south side of the street. You're just miles away from Wellington shopping and dining with easy access to the Florida Turnpike, 441 and I-95. About 427 homes spread across 7 subdivisions, and a lot of homes back right up to the golf course, which gives you those open views that people like. Homes were built in phases from 1987 to 2001, and the average size ranges from about 1,400 to 2,200 square feet. Pricing generally falls in that 450 to 800,000 range. Laguna is zoned for Discovery Key Elementary, which is A-rated and has been on the excellent list for 3 years, Woodlands Middle School, and Dr. Joaquin Garcia High School. Amenities are solid and easy: resort-style pool, clubhouse with a public restaurant, fitness center, all inside the community. Golf course, no mandatory membership, smaller footprint. If you like Winston Trails but want something more contained, this one usually clicks pretty quickly. This is one of those hidden gems you'll really appreciate once you discover it. The Fountains Country Club. This one is very different from the others. The Fountains is built around a former member-owned country club and has a more traditional, established feel. One thing that makes this community unique is the variety of property types. You've got condos, villas, and townhomes, which typically fall between 200 and about 500,000. And then you've got single-family homes that can go up to around 700,000. There's a wide range here depending on what you're looking for. Location-wise, this community covers a large footprint north of Lantana Road on the west side of Jog Road between Lantana and Lake Worth Road. The Fountains is zoned for Heritage Elementary, Woodlands Middle School, and Dr. Joaquin High School. Another interesting thing about the Fountains, the age setup. It used to be strictly 55 and over, but it's changed. Now, subdivisions are still 55 plus, and others are not age restricted at all. So you've got a mix of active adult and all age sections within the same community. Add in the 2 championship golf courses, a large clubhouse, a full fitness center, and strong tennis facilities, and this becomes a good fit for buyers who want a golf-oriented lifestyle with flexibility on price and home type. It's classic, established, and covers a lot of ground, literally and figuratively. Before we wrap phase 1, I want to quickly touch on the 55 and over communities in the area. 2 of the main ones people ask about are Bellagio and Villaggio. I'm grouping these together because they serve a very similar buyer. These are active adult communities built around amenities, social activity, and an easy, low-maintenance lifestyle. Bellagio is a private gated community with just under 1,100 single-family homes in western Lake Worth between Lantana Road and Hypoluxo Road just east of 441, built mostly between 2003 and 2005. What makes Bellagio unique is how much there is to do. 10 hard-shoe tennis courts, 4 pickleball courts, bocce, shuffleboard, and over 40 resident-managed clubs and organizations. The clubhouse was recently renovated, and Bistro Bellagio is one of the most popular spots in the community with indoor and outdoor dining. Home prices in Bellagio typically range from about $450,000 up to around $750,000. Villaggio is an upscale community developed by Onska Homes, located just west of the turnpike on the north side of Hypoluxo Road. The community has 538 single-family homes sculpted around lakes and lush landscaping. Villaggio offers a social club and fitness club with a combined 48,000 square feet of amenities, including a 13,000 square foot fitness center, resort-style pool and spa, and 6 tennis courts. Pricing in Villaggio is very similar to Bellagio, typically ranging from about $450,000 up to around $750,000. Now, these communities appeal to buyers who are downsizing, retiring, or just want to stay active and social without the upkeep of a larger home. If you're 55 plus and want amenities, community, and structure without coastal pricing, these are usually the 2 that come up first. Now, still within phase 1, you've also got Isola Bella and Isola Bella Estates. These represent the more upscale, gated side of this period. Isola Bella is a Mediterranean-style community built by Onska Homes in 2003 with 340 single-family homes. It's just west of the turnpike across the street from Villaggio that I referred earlier, on the south side of Hypoluxo Road. Gated entrance with a 24-hour manned guardhouse. Amenities include a clubhouse, 2 tennis courts, one's a hybrid pickleball court, a basketball court, heated pool, and land spa, kids splash pad, playground, and a full fitness center that's open from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. Home prices generally range from about $500,000 to $800,000. Then came Upscale Estates, which took that concept even further. It's just further west, past Lyons Road, across the street from Bellagio. Now, this is an upscale community of 209 residences, also Mediterranean style, also gated. These are estate-style homes, many over 4,000 square feet, some pushing 5,000 square feet and beyond. Amenities include a clubhouse, fitness room, children's activity room, basketball courts, tennis courts, playground, and various pools and spas. Pricing typically ranges from around $600,000 up to about $1.4 million. Both communities are zoned for Manatee Elementary, Christa McCullough Middle School, and Park Vista Community High School, all highly regarded A-rated schools. These communities appeal to buyers who want more space and a refined feel, but still want to stay within West Lake Worth rather than jumping to Boca or Delray. And while Upscale and Upscale Estates cover the gated upscale side of phase one, there are also buyers who want the exact opposite: more land, more freedom, and that's where Legend Lake Estates, Sherbrooke Estates, and Homeland come into the picture. Before we move on to phase two, I want to quickly touch on three communities that are very different from everything else we've been talking about so far: Legend Lake Estates, Sherbrooke Estates, and Homeland. I'm grouping these together because they share a similar appeal. Now, technically, all three do have HOAs, but they're a lot more relaxed than the other communities we've talked about. Homeowners here have a lot more freedom, and honestly, they don't feel like HOA communities. These are all about larger lots, more space between homes, and a lot more flexibility. If you want land and privacy, this is where people start looking. Legend Lake Estates is a community of approximately 200 estate homes in West Lake Worth, and most homes sit on lots ranging from about half an acre to 1 acre, and many are lakefront. The community offers tennis courts and walking and jogging trails. It's on Lake Worth Road, just east of State Road 7, with easy access to the Florida Turnpike and I-95. Legend Lake is zoned for Discovery Key Elementary, Woodlands Middle School, and Dr. Joaquin Garcia High School. And home prices generally fall between like $900,000 and $1.5 million. Sherbrooke Estates sits just south of Lantana Road on both sides of Lyons Road and between Lantana and Hypoluxo. Sherbrooke Estates once had an 18-hole golf course, which has now been closed, and there have been proposals to develop homes on that land, but as of now, nothing's been confirmed. From what I know, homes here are between 3,000 and 6,000 square feet on large lots ranging from 1 to 3 acres. Price ranges in Sherbrooke Estates range from about $1.5 million up to $4.5 million. And it's zoned for Coral Reef Elementary, Woodlands Middle School, and Dr. Joaquin Garcia High School. This is one of the go-to areas for buyers who want serious land, privacy, and the ability to do their thing. Homeland. This one really deserves its own category. Homeland is a private equestrian community made up entirely of custom-built homes. There are no production builders here. Every property is unique. A lot of these homes are specifically designed for horse owners, with stables, riding arenas, and paddocks right on the property. Lot sizes are substantial. Many homes sit on 4 acres or more, which is extremely rare anywhere in Palm Beach County. Development in Homeland started back in the 1980s and has continued through recent years, so you'll see a wide range of architectural styles, but everything leans custom and high-end. Pricing typically ranges from about $1.5 million to $7 million and beyond, depending on the acreage and equestrian setup. Homeland is zoned for Panther Run Elementary, Polo Park Middle School, and Wellington High School, all 3 schools in Wellington. Homeland appeals to a very specific buyer, someone who wants privacy, land, and an equestrian lifestyle while still being close to Wellington, strong schools, and everyday conveniences. Now, all 3 of these communities, Legend Lake Estates, Sherbrooke Estates, and Homeland, appeal to buyers who want more space, more freedom, and something that feels truly custom. And that really completes phase 1 of West Lake Worth. You could see how this area was built to serve very different types of buyers, all within the same general footprint. Now let's talk about phase 2, which really starts around 2012 and runs through about 2022. This is where West Lake Worth starts to feel noticeably different from phase 1. After the financial crisis, development slowed down for a bit, but once things picked back up, builders came back with a very different mindset. Phase 2 wasn't just about building more homes, it was about building communities that matched how people actually live. This is where you start seeing more open floor plans, higher ceilings, brighter interiors, and better flow between indoor and outdoor space. Even though a lot of these homes are already 10 years old, they still feel newer and more functional than their earlier phases. This period also brought in a different type of buyer. More people relocating from out of state, more families focused on space and schools, and buyers who wanted something newer without jumping all the way into coastal pricing. What makes phase 2 important is that it blends really well with what came before it. You've still got established areas and mature landscaping, but now you're pairing that with newer design and layouts that make sense today. And that's a big reason Westlake Ward still feels so relevant right now. One important thing to understand about phase 2 is scale. Compared to phase 1, think Winston Trails, Smith Farm, Lake Charleston. Most phase 2 communities are smaller, and that's because by this point, land out here was getting harder to find and a lot more expensive. So instead of massive master plan developments, builders were working with smaller parcels. That's why a lot of these communities have fewer homes, smaller footprints, and more efficient layouts. You're trading size for newer design, and for a lot of buyers, that's a fair trade. Let's start with Capistara, one of the earlier phase 2 communities built by Lennar in 2013. This is a smaller gated neighborhood with only about 110 homes total. The community features 7 floor plans. The bedrooms range from 3 to 5 on average, and the home sizes range between 1,800 and 3,500 square feet. And as far as amenities go, the community has a pool, cabana, and walking paths throughout. Price ranges from about $550,000 to $750,000, and Capistara is zoned for Hidden Oaks Elementary, Christa McAuliffe Middle School, and Park Vista High School, all A-rated schools. It works really well for buyers who want something newer and modern without a large community footprint. Osprey Oaks has a noticeably different feel. Built by Devco between 2013 and 2014, you've got about 171 homes spread across 85 acres, so it feels more open and private than most phase 2 neighborhoods. The home sizes here range from about 2,500 to 4,000 square feet, and the vibe is quieter and more residential, almost like a custom neighborhood. From an amenity standpoint, you've got a clubhouse with a modern fitness center, a resort-style pool, and extensive fitness trails, and prices range from about $700,000 to $1.1 million. The schools here are Manatee Elementary, Christa McAuliffe Middle, and Park Vista High, and this one attracts buyers who want newer homes with space and breathing room. Vista Lago, built by D.R. Horton. This is a smaller gated community with about 106 homes built between 2014 and 2016. It's located on the south side of Hypoluxo, just west of Military Trail. The home sizes here range from about 1,900 to 4,300 square feet with functional, open layouts designed for everyday living. All the homes here are CBS construction and come with hurricane impact windows and doors as standard. From an amenity standpoint, you've got a resort style pool, covered cabana, children's playground, and sidewalks for walking and bicycling, and it's also pet friendly. Prices range from about $600,000 to $850,000, and Vista Lago feeds into Hidden Oaks Elementary, Christa McAuliffe Middle School, and Park Vista High School. Right next to Vista Lago, you've got Silverwood Estates. This broke ground in 2015, built by Lennar. It's a gated community with about 190 homes total, and the community features 6 floor plans. The bedrooms range from 3 to 5, and the home sizes range between 2,000 and 3,500 square feet. From an amenity standpoint, you've got 3 park areas, 2 lakes, a community pool with a sun deck and cabana, and a playground. The overall feel is very similar to Vista Lago, but just slightly newer and a bit more polished, and the prices range from about $600,000 to $825,000. The schools here are Hidden Oaks Elementary, Christa McAuliffe Middle School, and Park Vista High, just like Vista Lago. And funny enough, my wife and I actually stopped in many years ago, looked at the models, and seriously considered it back when they were first selling. Gulfstream Preserve started building in 2016, built by Lennar. It's a gated community with about 211 homes total, and from an amenity standpoint, you've got a resort-style pool, spa, cabana, and a kids playground. The homes here feel modern and functional with layouts that work well for families and day-to-day living. Prices range from about $600,000 to $800,000. Schools here are Discovery Key Elementary, Woodlands Middle School, and Park Vista High. And this is a perfect example of what I call a phase 2 community. Newer construction, cleaner design, but still at a price point that's more approachable than what we're seeing with the brand new builds coming out today. The Fields, built between 2018 and 2022 by DeVosta, this community sits on the historic Gulfstream polo fields, which gives it a unique sense of place. It's located just west of the Turnpike, south of Lake Worth Road, and you've got a mix of townhomes and single-family homes here. The bedrooms range from 3 to 6, and the home sizes range from about 1,800 to over 3,300 square feet. Prices generally run from the 500s up to around 1.2 million. From an amenity standpoint, there's a resort-style pool, clubhouse, fitness center, tennis and basketball courts, playgrounds, and plenty of green space. Schools here are Discovery Key Elementary, Woodlands Middle, and Dr. Joaquin Garcia High School. Now, the Fields appeals to buyers who want newer construction, strong amenities, and a modern, well-planned community. To wrap up phase 2, you've got Windsong Estates, one of the newest communities in West Lake Worth. This was built in 2022 by DeVosta and is made up of just 93 single-family homes, so it feels very intimate. It's located right on 441, about a half a mile south of Lantana Road. And from an amenity standpoint, you've got a heated community pool, grilling area, and 2 pickleball courts, all within a gated setting. The prices here range from about $700,000 to $1.25 million. Windsong's Estates is zoned for Discovery Key Elementary, Woodlands Middle, and Dr. Joaquin Garcia High. This is a great fit for buyers who want something newer, low density, and polished without stepping into coastal pricing. So when you look at phase 2 as a whole, you can really see the shift. Smaller communities, newer layouts, more efficient use of land. Instead of massive master plan neighborhoods, builders focused on modern floor plans, strong amenities, and communities that fit today's lifestyle. And here's what's interesting. If you notice the prices, they're still a lot more affordable than Boca Raton. You're getting big, newer homes, and the value is very noticeable. Honestly, if you picked up these homes and dropped them in Boca or Delray, they'd be at least 30 to 50% more expensive. Those are rough numbers, of course, but it gives you an idea. For a lot of buyers, phase 2 hits the sweet spot, new enough to feel current, but established enough to feel lived in. Now we move into phase 3, which is what's being built right now. One important thing to understand about this phase is who controls the land. A lot of what's left to build out in West Lake Worth is owned by Pulte Group or DeVosta, which is Pulte's regional brand here in South Florida. That's a big reason why many of these newer communities feel more intentional, more refined, and more upscale. The other big thing I'm noticing with phase 3 is pricing. Almost all of the new construction going up right now is luxury. We're talking homes that regularly start over $1 million and in many cases push well past 2 or even 3 million. That tells you a lot about demand. There's a strong pull from families and buyers looking for a more elevated style of living, and builders are responding by putting out higher-end homes to match that demand. Land is limited, prices are higher, and builders are being very selective about what they put on the ground. They're building what people actually want to live in long term. Phase 3 is all about new construction, smaller communities, and homes designed for buyers who want something brand new and premium. These are the phase 3 communities shaping what West Lake Worth looks like right now. Let's start off with Greyhawk Landing, built by DeVosta. This is a smaller upscale community with about 131 homes, made up of 2 collections and 7 different home designs. Homes range from roughly 1,889 to 3,575 square feet, and the layouts feel modern and well thought out. Pricing typically runs from about $850,000 all the way up to around $1.3 million. And depending on the home and finishes, Greyhawk Landing attracts buyers who want new construction with a higher end feel, without being in a massive neighborhood. It's one of those communities where everything just feels deliberate, like they actually thought about how people live. The schools that pertain to Greyhawk Landing are Coral Reef Elementary, Woodlands Middle School, and Dr. Joaquin Garcia High School. Next is Hendricks Reserve, another DeVosta-built community. This neighborhood has about 117 homes total, spread across 2 collections with 6 home designs. Homes range from approximately 1,889 to 2,894 square feet, with 2 to 5 bedrooms, which makes it very flexible for different family sizes. Pricing generally falls between $700,000 and $1.1 million, depending on the layout and upgrades. Now, Hendricks Reserve is a great fit for buyers who want brand new construction, modern design, and a quieter boutique community feel. And honestly, if you want new but don't want to feel like you're living in a giant development, this is it. And the schools that pertain to the community are the same as Legend Lake Estates, being that they're neighbors. That's Discovery Kiefer Elementary, Woodlands Middle, and Dr. Joaquin High School. Then there's Amara, which really shows where phase 3 is headed. This is a Devasta-built community and it's very intentional in how it's laid out. Amara is made up of 3 collections: the Estate Collection, the Ranch Collection, and the Grand Collection. Across these collections, there's 9 total home designs, giving buyers a wide range of options, but all at a very high level. The smallest home in the community is the Regalia, which starts at around 2,713 square feet with 3 bedrooms and pricing that starts at about $1.2 million. And just to be clear, that's the smallest one. On the other end of the spectrum, you've got the Livingston 2 Grand, which is roughly 5,630 square feet with 6 to 7 bedrooms and pricing that comes in at just under $2.1 million. So you can see pretty quickly this is not entry-level new construction. This is the kind of community where you pull up and immediately know where you're getting into. In total, Amara has about 145 homes and the overall feel is upscale, private, and very polished, and even the amenities follow the same theme. You've got a resort-style pool, a modern clubhouse, fitness center, and thoughtfully designed green spaces throughout the community, but it's not overbuilt or crowded. It feels more boutique and intentional compared to some of the larger neighborhoods nearby. And here's where it gets even more interesting. There's a phase 2 planned for the future, which is expected to feature much larger home sites, roughly 1 to 3 acres per lot. Now those homes will be in a completely different price category altogether. We're talking serious estate living. That alone tells you how much luxury is moving into West Lake Worth and where the market is heading. And then you have Whitmore Estates, which is built by Lennar. This is a master plan community of new estate homes conveniently located near Wellington and right next to Amara. Whitmore Estates is made up of 2 collections, the Kensington Collection, which starts at just under $1.2 million, and the Oxford Collection, which starts at $1,774,000. Across those 2 collections, there's 9 total models. 3 of those are single-story homes ranging from 2,974 square feet up to 5,176 square feet. The other 6 are 2-story homes ranging from 3,786 square feet all the way up to 6,700 square feet. And yes, that's 6,700 square feet. That's not a typo. For reference, that's bigger than most people's first apartment building. So you've got a lot of space and a lot of options here. The schools for Whitmore Estates are the same as next door over at Amara: Coral Reef Elementary, Woodlands Middle School, and Dr. Joaquin Garcia High School. Now, from an amenity standpoint, Whitmore Estates offers a recreation-rich lifestyle. The elegant clubhouse features an indoor lounge, covered outdoor area, and outdoor gathering spaces, complete with a putting green and a cozy fire pit area. There's a swimming pool where you can beat the heat in style or soak up the sun on the lounge chairs. And then you have a barbecue area to entertain friends, family, and neighbors. And the pricing in Whitmore Estates runs from about $1,199,000 up to over $2.1 million. Whitmore Estates is actively selling right now, and it's another great example of the luxury new construction that's shaping phase 3 in West Lake Worth. I mean, 10 years ago, if you told me West Lake Worth would have communities like this, I probably wouldn't have believed you. But here we are. So that's phase 3, the luxury new construction that's happening right now. And when you step back and look at everything we just covered, phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, you can really see how West Lake Worth evolved. It went from family-oriented master plan communities in the 90s and early 2000s to newer, more efficient neighborhoods in the 2010s to luxury estate living happening right now. Real quick, if you're finding this breakdown helpful, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Also, I created a guide that has all the neighborhoods we just talked about broken down with pricing, schools, amenities, all of it. That's linked in the description, so make sure you grab that if you want the full breakdown in one place. All right, here's the thing. Knowing the communities is only part of the picture. What really matters is which one actually fits you. And that comes down to your budget, your schools, your timeline, and what you're willing to compromise on. Here's the problem. Most people try to figure this out on their own. They spend weeks scrolling Zillow, Googling neighborhoods, trying to decode school zones, and they get overwhelmed. Too many options, too much information, and no clear way to know which community actually makes sense. Listen, the whole point of this channel is to give you the real information so you can make better decisions. But if you need help connecting the dots, that's what we're here for. One conversation, and we can narrow this down for you in about 20 minutes. There's no pressure, no sales pitch, just honest guidance based on what actually matters to you. And if it's easier, you can just scan the QR code on the screen and we'll connect with you that way, because this isn't just about finding a house, it's about finding the right place for you and your family without wasting months trying to figure it out on your own. If you're serious about making a move, reach out, links in the description. I'm Jonathan, this is Live South Florida, and I'll see you in the next video.